How's it going, everybody? We are back again for another Dokkan battle video, and today, we got STR Dokkan Fest VIDEL. Her info came out last night. Her data download came out last night. We saw her in game. She's crazy. She's borderline broken. This was featured in the Truth's video last night, right? At the time of this recording, right? I'll probably post this like the day after or something like that, right? This was turn 9, with support on rotation given and everything, but that's an 8 million attack stat by fucking VIDEL. Literally by a VIDEL. Just keep that in mind. So I wanted to ask you all, your thoughts. Like, what does the community think about this new Dokkan Fest VIDEL, who's arguably literally one of the best units in the entire game? Like, she's borderline so good, they had to shaft her so that way she wouldn't outshine the other big name character units, right? The only reason why she's not the #1 unit in the game is because of her links and her lack of categories, and that's it. Other than that, she's arguably the best. She's arguably the best TUR in the game, and then she's borderline a top 10 best unit in the game. That's why they shafted her via her links and her categories. So I figured I'd ask you all. I'm doing this across multiple different posts, right? This I've just put up a few hours ago, but I did want to see all your comments. I wanted to see the comments from this one, and then the official reveal of her, right? I've seen a lot of positive stuff so far. A lot of you seem to like VIDEL getting a Dokkan Fest, but I know in general there's been kind of a mixed feeling about it, because nobody in their wildest dreams could have imagined that VIDEL, of all characters, would get a Dokkan Fest, and of course, be the best unit in the game, right? But anyways, let's just see what everybody's saying. Frosty here is saying, it's different. I dig it. Hell yeah, I totally agree with that. Golden Vegito, I don't think she deserves a hey, she getting, but I won't deny I would prefer an Android 18 or 21. Yeah, 21's is kind of a mixed situation. Obviously, 21 would have to come out during a Fighters themed celebration, and obviously they don't do celebrations for games all that often, as we know with Heroes that only comes out once a year. 21, I feel like they're probably going to save up for maybe a much later Dokkan Fest. Just outside of the game, she doesn't show up anywhere else, not in the anime or any type of anime or anything like that. So she's a little bit trickier, right? So let's keep going here. It's the fact that we live in a world where VIDEL, of all characters, is not only a Dokkan Fest unit, but is either the best TUR or a top 5. Yeah, see, alright, so let's talk about this, right? VIDEL. Yeah, so, it's definitely mind-boggling, because, when we saw the official reveal, I immediately thought, where was it? Right here. I immediately thought that this is what I thought. It's either a 50-50 shot of being the April's Fool's prank, or this is actually legit. I did not take this seriously. I thought that this was going to be April's Fool's prank, and we were going to get some other character as the Dokkan Festival unit. But nope, lo and behold, she got a Dokkan Fest. So it's I think everybody is mainly just mind-boggled that VIDEL, of all characters, of all, people, characters, whatever you want to call them, is now actually the best unit in the game. She's the best TUR if she was literally any other character with better links. Yeah, that's probably the one thing that holds her back, I would say. Like I said, the only reason why she's actually not the best unit in the game is because her links and her categories really are lacking. You can only really effectively run her on Ally of Justice, Majin Buu Saga, and Peppy Gal's teams, and that's really it. If she was given another category or two or something like that, I don't know what categories they would give her off the top of my head, but you could really make the argument that she's one of the best units in the entire game, because quickly go over it, right? 158% attack and defense at the start of turn. She has a 50% chance to evade enemy attacks until that enemy attacks. So if you put her in slot 1, she has a 50% chance to dodge all the enemy attacks, incoming to her when the enemy is attacking first. Alright? Then, plus an additional attack, 58% when attacking. And then here's the tricky part with VIDEL, right? If she dodges an attack, she gains super effective against all types. If she gets hit by an attack, she gains an additional 58% attack. So her best case scenario is that the enemy launches like 2 attacks, one of them she dodges, and one of them she gets hit by. That procs her full passive of effective against all types, and then like, what is it, like 200%, 250 to 300% attack or something ridiculous like that. Then here's another great thing. As the first or second attacker in a turn, she has a guaranteed additional super attack. Not an additional normal, not a chance for a super attack. It is 100% guaranteed, just like LR STR Broly. Then plus an additional attack 58% chance and a 50% chance of evading enemy attacks if she is the third attacker in the turn. So even if you flow her off, she still has that 50% chance to dodge and gaining more and more attack. And then, like, it's ridiculous. Like, her passive has nothing bad about her at all. There's literally nothing bad about her passive. It's ridiculous. She's ridiculously broken. Then we talked about her super attack defense. She's a stacking unit. She stacks attacks normally, 30% attack every time she attacks. But if you have a Gohan on the team, Gohan Teen, Ultimate Gohan, or Great Saiyan Man, just have him on the team. You don't need to have him on rotation. You just need to have one of those Gohans on the team, right? She greatly stats her attack, the same thing that Ultimate Gohan does, for example. Stacking attack and his defense, VIDEL stats her attack by 50%. So, I mean, you can easily do that with Majin Buu Saga, Ally of Justice, and the Earthlings category. Earthlings only has that one Great Saiyan Man 1 and 2 unit. That's really it, but that's a free-to-play unit, so you can obviously proc that. Ally of Justice, Majin Buu Saga, Tech Ultimate Gohan, and a litter of other Gohans are on those categories, so it doesn't matter. The one place where this won't activate, obviously, is the Peppy Gals team. But, I mean, like, even without a Gohan on the team, she's still really, really good. And then we talked about her active skill. So, you need another Gohan on the team to proc this, but starting from the 4th turn from the start of battle, you gain 20% attack, but lose 20% defense. Now, here's the one thing, it's not just for one turn like a lot of other units like Broly and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. This is a permanent buff / debuff. So in long events, the moment that you activate this active skill, she permanently has that extra 20% attack and minus 20% defense, which roughly, if I remember from the Troops video, right, she was sitting at like 250,000 defense, or like 230,000 defense, but then she went down to like 180,000 defense. So roughly, she loses like 40,000 defense, which is, it's not bad. Alright, let's get that out of the way. She's not like an insanely defensive unit, but she has her built-in dodge, she has her built-in guaranteed additional super, and then she already has 158% defense as well. So like, her defense is pretty good, especially if you build a team around her. Her defense is going to sit roughly around like 180,000, maybe 150,000 plus, which is more than enough to get you through most events, by the way. Having 150,000 plus will allow you to take double digits from most bosses in the entire game. So that, like, there's that too. But on God, VIDEL is literally like the best offensive unit in the entire game. That's how ridiculous she is. She's by far one of the best offensive units in the entire game. It's actually ridiculous. Let's see. Let's keep going because I want to talk about the community reactions. Why VIDEL though? Yeah, see, that's what people are stumped about, right? It's VIDEL. It's VIDEL, not a Broly character, not a fusion character. It's VIDEL of all characters. Excluding Link, she's probably the best unit in the game, hitting 3 to 5 million super effective against all types of attacks, and then another while in 1 or 2 slot. Defense one of the best, but not the Links and categories hold her back, but she's still like a top 3 unit. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, Links and categories are the only thing that hold her back. That they had to nerf her or in some shape or form because she's so good. They had to, you know, make her Links bad, so that way you would have to build a team around her. It's like, it's ridiculous. Low-key pissed. I don't know why you're pissed. Easily the best, one of the best TURs. Yeah, easily the best. I don't know if I want to call her the best TUR. I'll have to wait and see once I see some more gameplay of her. Like, she's insanely good, but like I said, one of the really bad things that hold her back is her Links and categories. Categories in particular really hold her back because, you know, the reason why I hold Broly and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on such a high pedestal, mainly Broly, whom I consider to be the best TUR, is because he's on so many different teams. Gogeta is only on like 4 or 5 teams or something like that. That's it. And the same goes for VIDEL. VIDEL's on like what, 4 teams? 1, 2, yeah, she's on 4 teams. Broly is on like 7 or 8 different teams. Gogeta is on like 5 teams. So that's why I consider Broly a lot better, but obviously I've already done my huge breakdown video talking about that. Actually, genuinely, ironically, a top tier unit. Yeah. Alright, so here's the tricky part, right? Investing my stones on this when it comes to global. Here's the tricky part for us global players, right? If we go through the timeline of events, right? So we're about to come into April. So we had the Janemba and PyCon Dual Dokkan Festival launching like tonight or something like that. The celebration goes live in an hour from this, from the time of this recording. But that's going to last the large majority of the entire month. So keep that in mind. Then we're going to start rolling into the beginning of May, which is usually the Saiyan Day, not Saiyan Day, the Goku Day stuff. If we take a look at what happened last year we had the Dual Dokkan Festival for Super Saiyan 2 Angel Vegeta and Super Saiyan 2 Angel Goku and Majin Vegeta. And then 2 weeks later was LRUI Goku. So that happened, by the way. And then I believe like maybe towards like the end of May, roughly, is when we'll see Dokkan Fest, Super Saiyan Goten, and Trunks. And then maybe probably towards the end of June, middle of June, is when I can see VIDEL dropping as like the last big unit to come out before the 6th-year anniversary, because they're not going to do anything for like the last like 2 weeks. Usually around like June 30th is when they do the start of the countdown campaign or whatever. That leads to July 7th, which of course is the 6th-year anniversary for Global, right? So, I mean, the banner for VIDEL goes live on JP later tonight. So, it's going to be really difficult for me to not tell you to summon on this, because she most likely will be the last banner to come out on Global right before the anniversary, and that really sucks because she's like actually one of the best TURs in the game, but you know, it's right before the end of the 6th-year anniversary with LRUI Goku and Blue Evolution Vegeta. You know, I can't tell global players to summon for that with the banner, the anniversary banners right there. And you know, watch this. We've already know that she's like one of the best units in the game. Now they're probably gonna make this banner like really insanely good. Put like Tech Ultimate Gohan and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on it. I guarantee you, if those 2 units are on her banner, there's no way people will not summon for her. There's no way that people will skip her banner. There isn't. There really isn't. Because like on Global in particular, it would be the like 2nd or 3rd time that Tech Ultimate Gohan comes back on Global, and it would be the 1st time that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta comes back on Global. So yeah, like I'll have to wait and see what her banner looks like later on when her banner releases tonight. But they're gonna definitely make her banner like insanely good too. So obviously keep that in mind. She's fucking crazy. She just needs the support or a good Link buddy to hit as hard as you can. Yeah, definitely, I would say that. Simp. Simp. I deem you simp. But yeah, no, like I said, that's her main issue. Courage, it's not that bad of a link. Money, 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 and champion strength are like the only, like, those are the bad links on her. Those are like the real bad links. Cold Judgment and Infighter, you can really make work on a couple of different occasions with different units. Mainly in particular, some of the Trunks units have Cold Judgment and Infighter, so that could definitely work in her favor. Battlefield Diva, obviously, literally every Peppy Gals unit has Battlefield Diva, and then Fierce Battle, of course. So, yeah, links definitely hold her back, I would say. But, you know, there's a couple of different units. In particular, I think STR Android 18, in particular, would work really, really well with her, because she does share a couple of links with her, as well as supporting her, I think, off the top of my head. So that would definitely work out in her favor, right? Alright, so let's keep on going in here, right? Yep, she's insanely good, Videl of all cards does not deserve that title, just being a Videl card. Why Dokkan made an irrelevant character so OP? I think the reason why they wanted to do this is because I think we're just at a point in Dokkan where, you know, we know they're gonna make, like, relevant characters OP. Literally, look at what they did with Legendary Super Saiyan Broly just now. Finally, after 6 years of this game, Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, aside from Tech LR Broly, has always been like underrepresented in Dokkan. SDR LR Broly was cool when he first came out, but he was quickly like buried because of the fact, aside from the World Tournament, SDR LR Broly quickly died off because of his lack of defense. And Tech LR Broly was cool, yeah, but he didn't break the game either. Now, with the latest celebration, in Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, the Dokkan Fest one, obviously, is insanely good. Like, the best TUR in my personal opinion. Again, I'll have to judge Videl more, but, you know, the best TUR. And then they also gave SCR LR Broly an EZA, which arguably made some the best villain unit in the entire game, and, like, borderline a top 5 best unit in the game. So, they're finally bringing justice to those characters. Videl, do I think that the Videl deserved a Dokkan Fest? No, I don't, but I definitely like the idea of it, because here's the thing. If they're gonna give irrelevant characters Dokkan Fest units or LRs, they have to make them good. They have to make them good. I mean, I can quickly look this up here. AGL PyCon or something like that. No, that's not him. But actually, I can just look up on this category right here. When PyCon was revealed to be the Dokkan Fest unit, right? When he came out on JP back in December/January, I was disappointed, because the entire community was disappointed, because PyCon, of all characters, was the dual Dokkan Fest, the other dual Dokkan Fest character other than Janemba. So obviously we were all expecting a new Super Gogeta, you know, Goku and Vegeta that fuse into Gogeta, you know, something like that. But instead, we got PyCon. It's cool that PyCon got a Dokkan Fest unit, but he's not, like, anything super crazy good or anything like that. I can literally name... PyCon is okay, but he's definitely not in the top 5. He's definitely not in the top 10. Definitely not in the top 15. You can maybe make the argument for him that he's in the top 20 or something like that, but, you know, they didn't do a whole lot for him. And like I mentioned in my last video, PyCon suffers from being PyCon. You know, like his links, his categories, everything else. They made him a pretty solid unit, obviously, other than the fact that they need orbs, you know, him and Janemba, obviously. He's not bad of a unit, like that bad of a unit, but like I said, PyCon suffers from being a PyCon. Videl is in the exact same situation, but this time they actually did her justice. They made her super uber broken and, like, you know, crazy good, everything like that, but she suffers from being Videl because she gets these, you know, these bad categories aside from, you know, Majin Buu Saga, obviously, and these bad links. That's the same way. So it's literally the exact same situation, but I'm glad that they finally did Videl good and gave her, like, a good unit. So much so that she's, like, the best unit in the game. That's just how it is. So I'm perfectly fine with characters getting, irrelevant characters getting Dokkan Fest units or LRs. They just gotta do them good. Python, literally in the move, I feel like VIDEL is more worthy of a Dokkan Fest unit than Python, because throughout the entire movie, Python literally did nothing. He had that opening scene where he fought Goku for like 2 minutes. He then goes off and screams at the fucking jelly bean thing in the middle of the movie, and then he shows up at the end of the movie versus Super Janemba and then gets bitched on in 2 seconds. Python literally did nothing. At least with VIDEL, while she doesn't do any like super serious fighting, she is a somewhat more relevant character who's had some pretty important scenes, and obviously she's an important character to Gohan, like important person in Gohan's life, obviously. So I would say she's definitely a little more worth it, I guess you want to call it, than Python. I know it's complicated to explain. I know I'm not making this any better, of course, but I think you're trying to, I hope you're trying to understand what I'm trying to say. But the bottom line is, I'm perfectly fine with irrelevant characters getting Dokkan Fest units because of the fact that it's a splash of life, like a fresh splash of life into the game. Because obviously every other Dokkan Fest is either like a Goku or Vegeta unit, and then like during the big time celebrations is another Goku and Vegeta unit, or a fusion, or this or that. This is a nice, like, breath or something like that. But it's like, how do I put this? It's like, it's a nice little break from the super major hype characters. Now, yes, obviously, VIDEL is like super uber broken and everything like that, but at the same time, it's like, it's not like a character that you would desperately want to go for, like, instead of like blue Vegeta or something like that, right? Like, God only knows that the next time a new Super Vegeta or Blue Vegeta unit releases into the game, everybody's gonna go wild, obviously. Or when Gogeta Blue comes out later this year or something like that, something ridiculous like that. This is a nice, fresh take onto the game. This also allows them to bring, like, new Dokkan Fest units into the game, characters that haven't got a Dokkan Fest that we aren't expecting, of course, like, because now we're also at the point where we're just giving old characters that have already had Dokkan Fest or LRs newer cards and everything like that, just to keep the game relevant, because obviously the anime is on hiatus still and whatnot. So this is definitely a much better take, and I hope they continue to do something like this in the future. Starting with like Super Baby, who has yet to get a Dokkan Fest and desperately deserves one, I would say. And obviously Super Baby has yet to get a Dokkan Fest. His LR is cool, but he definitely needs a Dokkan Fest unit to go alongside with him. And I'm definitely open to the idea of more characters like VIDEL getting Dokkan Fest units or LRs. Because if they're going to do them right, make them super uber broken and fun, then by all means, I'm for it, okay? But I hope they learn what they did with Python in particular. If you want to make like a semi-irrelevant character into a Dokkan Fest unit or LR, then you need to do it right. Python is not a prime example of this. Python, he's cool, but he's not like anything super crazy good or anything like that. They took VIDEL, who has always been like a free-to-play unit throughout the entire game, gave her a Dokkan Fest, and now made her the best unit in the entire game. And obviously, they finally gave Janemba another Dokkan Fest, but obviously, you could really make the case that Tech Janemba sucks compared to like STR Janemba and Easy A in Janemba, poster Easy A's. But that's another discussion for another time, right? But anyways, I think that's enough for now. So I think the moral of the story is, aside from this simp, I think a lot of people do like VIDEL being, borderline the best unit in the game or something like that. I definitely feel like they like that idea more. I don't know. Basically, bottom line is, yeah, I think a lot of people are okay with, VIDEL. I think the problem is that she's so uberly broken. That's like the main thing. Just nobody in their right minds were expecting Videl to be borderline the best unit in the game. So, there you go. Comment down below what you think of Videl, if I haven't already said it. Yeah, she's wild. I'm very, very excited to see more of what she can do. I definitely hope that in the future she gets like a linking partner or definitely a linking partner and definitely more categories in the future. But I'm very, very excited. I think they did a great job with her, and I hope we can see more characters that get this kind of like respect in the future. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.
I have spoken.